Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Yeah, today was a very slow day. I think the market is waiting for tomorrow's inflation numbers, so that's going to be interesting. The situation is unchanged, but I have made a small adjustment to the microstructure, which I think makes absolute sense. We'll talk about that in a minute. Quick reminder of the short-term bearish count, and I will not repeat the entire structure, but in the short-term bearish count, we can get one more low. I explained that in detail in the earlier updates today and yesterday and the day before. And in this scenario, if we get one more low, the next key pivot will be around 55.3 to 53.8K, okay? But that requires a break below the first really important support level on the micro level, and that's 58,360. As long as we're holding 58,360, I'm definitely watching that level, because as long as we're holding that, the yellow count, which is the bullish scenario, has a chance. But those probabilities for that yellow count in which we can see a direct rally to the upside, possibly also after one more low, just again into the support area, the probabilities for this scenario will reduce dramatically if there is a break below 58,360. So that short-term bullish count will then become not really viable anymore, not a reasonable interpretation, because what I'm tracking here in the yellow count is a so-called 1-2 setup, and this wave 2 would be too deep then to be reliable. In this wave 2, and this is the scenario that's tested first, we are looking for a W X Y structure, and in the Y wave, that's currently the pattern that seems to be unfolding. In the Y wave, we have an A, B, C. This is really just a micro perspective, really just looking at the micro. And you can see here that I'm tracking this pullback with support between 58,360 and 60,860 as a wave 2. Wave W bottomed on the 9th of May. Then this is a bit ambiguous, because it is also possible that the X wave itself is a triangle. However, I don't really have enough waves for a triangle. And to be honest, it would really lead to the same structure if I'm tracking the X wave as a normal ABC flat, or if I'm tracking the X wave as a triangle. Doesn't make so much of a difference, because in both scenarios, the last high shouldn't be broken, and one more low is a absolutely reasonable interpretation. That would only then change if we get a break above the red resistance range between 63K and 64.4K. So if we get a break above it, above the last high, and then above resistance, I would have to assume that maybe we bottomed already, but then with a very unclear bottoming formation, and that would basically lead to the interpretation of a high X wave or something. But for now, I'm watching if the last high is holding. I'm watching for sort of maybe one more lower high in wave B, and then another lower low in wave C. That's sort of what I'm tracking. If this is a triangle, it should be the same. It's just a different way of labeling it, really. And then what's really important to maintain the yellow counts, let's say, status of a reasonable scenario, is that the next move down, if it happens, doesn't break below 58,360. Bear in mind, tomorrow's CPI data. So it can happen that when we have data like that, that the scenario is going to complete within maybe minutes, okay, sometimes even seconds. So it's possible if there is a lot of volatility. Today, PPI, there wasn't much volatility, so I'm not sure how much we're going to see tomorrow. But yeah, so tomorrow is probably let's call it the biggest event of this week. At the moment, definitely no real confirmation that we've bottomed. We have a 5-wave move up from the 1st of May low. That is at least an indication that we could have bottomed, but we need more. Just a 5-wave move up is not enough to really confirm that we've bottomed overall in a wave 4. We also need that 3-wave pullback, and we need the price to stabilize in the support area, which I shared with you. And as long as we are doing that, we can keep the focus on the yellow count. But I'm just skeptical, because, you know, the white count also has a reasonable likelihood. For me, it's really between the well, it's really about the 58.3K level. That level is the, let's say, the distinguishing factor between bullish momentum and bearish momentum, but only short-term bullish, short-term bearish, because both of these scenarios are part of an overall bullish scenario, which will only get really challenged below 50.7K, which is the main support level on this chart. There isn't much more to say, so ideally tomorrow we have a little bit more data and info. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.